Okay, so Laura requested that I finally actually do the little, like, wig tutorial that I've been meaning to do for a very long time. So here it is. I'm gonna go over how to basically put on a wig very, very securely for cosplay or for any other purposes. I learned this in my theatrical costuming training. I took a couple semesters of a wig making class in which we learned how to secure wigs so that they don't fall off of dancers. So these wigs will not come off, and in my opinion, it's probably the most comfortable way to wear wigs, because especially heavy wigs, because the weight of the wig is more evenly distributed on your head. What this tutorial consists of is basically showing you how to do pin curls. So basically how to pin curl your hair, the entire head of it, and then actually pin the wig onto your head. So, like, actually do the pin curls, put the wig cap on, pin the wig cap on, and then pin the wig on top of that. There are a lot of pins involved, so many pins, which brings me to my next thing. List of supplies. What you're going to need to do this is something to, like, brush out your hair. I'm just going to use a comb because it's what I have lying around in my wig kit. I like to have either a tail brush or a tail comb, just so it's easier to separate your hair into the sections for the pin curls. You'll need a wig cap of some sort. I like this one because it's actually almost light enough to match my incredibly pale skin tone. Amazon. You'll need a wig. I like to store mine in plastic bags so they don't get dusty. And you will need several different kinds of pins. You will need lots of bobby pins. No, more bobby pins than you think you'll need. No, more bobby pins than that. So many bobby pins. Trust me. You can probably get away with just bobby pins if you're in a pinch, but ideally you should also have two other types of pins. You should have small hairpins and large hairpins. You can't really see these. Does this work? This totally works. Alright, so this is the little one, and this is the big one. I feel like that's actually self-explanatory and didn't have to say that. The small ones will be, you'll be doing the pin curls, and that's what the bobby pins are for. The small hairpins are for securing the wig cap onto your pin curls, and the large ones are for securing the actual wig onto your head. So I guess I'm just going to start going over the steps. So first things first is brush out your hair so you have all the tangled out of it. Okay, once your hair is sufficiently brushed out, you'll be brushing it a little more as you go. What you're going to do is take your tail comb or brush, whichever you have lying around. They can be purchased at, like, pretty much any general store or at Sally's if you feel like going to Sally's. And what you're going to do is section your hair out into, like, smallish chunks and brush those chunks out, and then take them and take your fingers. I'm holding two fingers right here, and my fingers are about halfway. That's because I have long hair. I wrap the hair around my fingers, the top part, and then I kind of gently roll it down and place it so that it's flat on my head on the section of my scalp that the hair came from. So not, like, placed way over here and not, like, sticking up at all. You want it to be nice and flat because that's the entire point of pin curls, is to get your hair flat. And then you're going to take a bobby pin, and you shouldn't open it with your teeth because that's bad, but I'm doing it anyways. And you're going to pin that down, and sometimes one is secure enough, but cross pinning is magic. So you take a second bobby pin, and you pin it so that you form a little X, like that. And there's a little X of bobby pins, and that's not going anywhere. And the pin curls essentially form an anchor that you're going to be sticking pins into in order to keep the wig cap and the wig on your head. So your wig cap will never slide back, and your wig will never fall off your head, and you'll never have any of these problems. And also your hair will never show. Your hair will literally never show. It's amazing. So then you continue to do that throughout the entirety of your head. I do sometimes cheat when I'm not wearing wigs for cosplay and I'm wearing wigs just like for fun, because I do that a lot. I will only pin curl my anchor points, which will be explained a little bit later on, but it basically means like kind of the front, the sides right in front of my ears, the back of my head, and like a couple extra ones on the top, because those are the areas you're going to be pinning into when you attach the wig. But do your entire head, it keeps your hair in better, I promise you. If I don't do the entire head, I do braid the rest and just kind of pin it up, just to keep the hair out of the way. Never just shove loose hair into a wig cap. Don't do that. It'll fall out. It won't look good. Please don't do that. Alright, and then continue to pin curl the rest of your head. Okay, now you'll notice I've reached the back of my head and I'm doing it completely blind. That's because I've done this so many times. I recommend using a mirror. In fact, I might turn around so you guys can just see me do it. I'm going to do that. Here, watch me pin curl without looking. Okay, so that is the general gist of it. Please note that my pin curls are larger than they probably should be, because I couldn't find most of my bobby pins. They disappeared. So I have like 2 left after this, so I made them much larger than they normally are. But here is just kind of like a view of my head and generally what it looks like with the pin curls in. All of my hair is tucked away in them, and I made sure to have really nice solid pin curls that are very like tight and close to the scalp here and up here and in the front and along the back. So basically around the perimeters and at the top of your head are the most important spots to get them really secure. So they shouldn't be all like loose and everywhere. They should be nice and tight. So the next step is to put on your wig cap and pin that on. I have my wig cap here. If you are by yourself, it's a little bit harder to get the wig cap on really nice. I like to have someone help me. Annie, could you come help me demonstrate? This is Annie, who you can't see on the camera yet. This is Annie. Sit behind me, Annie.
Okay.
Here, take this wig cap.
Okay.
So, if you have a friend to assist you, which is my preferred way to put on wigs and wig caps, what you're going to do is the person who is having the thing put on them is going to stick their thumbs hooked in front of their forehead, and then the other person is going to open up the wig cap and hook the front onto the thumbs. And you're going to pull that below your hairline, and then they're going to get it around the rest of your head, like a good friend does, and make sure all of your hair is secured in there, and none of your pin curls are falling out like mine are.
This would be easier if you actually had smaller pin curls.
Yes, it would. Thank you for pointing that out, Annie. It would be easier if I had smaller pin curls. Alas, bobby pin shortage. So then, what you do is you use your handy-dandy little tail comb or brush to tuck all of your hairs in. So you will have hairs probably sticking out. So, and then pull this up so the edge of your hairline is exposed. And if you have bits sticking out, just pull the wig cap over that and pull all your little baby hairs up into the wig cap. Just push them up with your comb. And you do the same in the back, which you can't really see. Alright, and now I'm going to put my glasses back on so I'm no longer blind. Look, all your little baby hairs are then tucked into the wig cap. And so that everything stays in place, what you're going to do is you're going to take your small pins, your small hairpins. They look like this, approximately. You can buy them at Sally's as well as the large hairpins and obviously bobby pins. They're all available at Sally's in several different colors. I believe this reddish color as well as black, and some of them are available in silver at certain locations if you're lucky. The silver ones are a lot harder to find. I've yet to find this size in silver, which I'm mad about because I'm a blonde. Alright, so then what you do is you take these little pins, you stretch the wig cap away from your head, stab it downwards through that solid edge of the wig cap, and then turn it back up and stick it into the pin curl, like so. And that secures it so that when you push back on the wig cap, it doesn't go past that pin curl that it's pinned into, and that's going to stop your wig cap from sliding back, like a lot of people have problems with. So I'm going to do that like around the top, by right in front of my ear, and then a couple places in the back. Obviously, if you have hair on both sides of your head, do it in front of both ears. But I do not. If you, in fact, don't have hair on several parts of your head, like if you have a mohawk, this can get a lot trickier. Or if you, for example, have a shaved head or hair that is too short to pin curl, I cannot help you in this tutorial. I may make something up eventually, but I'm not an expert in those things, because I usually have large masses of hair. So basically, I have some hair still sticking out. I'm going to tuck those back in. Come here, you. Obviously, this is not perfect because I don't have a mirror and my glasses are in the way. But this is what we're doing. Okay, so then your wig cap is nice and securely pinned on. It doesn't slide back at all. It doesn't slide up in the back. So you basically, this is what you look like as a bald person for the most part. Your hair is down as flat as it can be. Pin curling is generally the best thing for that. I'd say second best is probably French braiding, but you don't get the really nice solid anchor points with French braiding because it's all kind of located in one spot. Yeah, so the next step is putting on the actual wig. I have my wig from a very old costume here, like 2 Halloweens ago. This is my Ruby Gloom wig. It's been sitting in a plastic bag for 2 years. It's not styled or anything, it's just a good demonstration piece. So I have a wig, and you locate the front of your wig and where all the little ear flappy things are. Every wig should have little ear flappy things. I like to use those as kind of like a reference point for where I'm putting it on, like on my head. Like, because the ear flappy things should, in theory, be but in front of your ears if the wig fits you, which it doesn't always. If you have little elastic hooks in your wig, make sure those are hooked on so they don't stick out of your wig. So hook them in some of the little thingies. Mine were not hooked. You can put a wig on by yourself. This short wig is really easy to put on by yourself. You just kind of throw it on, and it's not a big deal because it's not styled. If you have a styled wig, for example, in an updo, it's easiest to have a friend help do it the same way that you put on the wig cap. So same thing with the thumbs and the pulling over. If I had an updo readily available, not on a wig head, like pinned and over in my sewing room, I would show you how to do it with the example of an updo. But they'll probably get the bangs out of the way, if there are any, and then you'll hook your thumbs, and they'll hook the center front of the wig over that, and pull it on over the back of your head like a very good friend. Thank you, Annie. So, what you want to do is make sure your ear flappies are, my ear flappies are not at all where my ears are. So I'm gonna turn the wig. So my ear flappies are right in front of my ears. I'm calling them ear flappies. There are probably technical terms for them, but I don't know them. And then make sure the wig, back of the wig is pulled all the way down over the back of your head. You remember how you had like a little bit of your hairline showing past the wig cap? You want the wig, especially if it doesn't have bangs, in order to give you a realistic hairline, to be right up, just covering your actual hairline. So you have that pulled up there. And then you are going to take your large hairpins. This is what they look like. They are available at Sally's in several colors, and they're kind of expensive for the number you get in a box, but you only need like 6 of them to put on a wig, so you can get like a box and be fine. I tend to lose mine over time because I lend them out to friends and never get them back, but I'm that kind of person. I like to make sure everyone's wig is super secure, so it's worth a few pins. So what you're going to do is I like to do the front ears first, because that kind of situates where the wig sits right around my face, and that's the most important part to me. So this is going to be hard to see. What you're going to do, I picked a bad wig for this, is kind of separate the hair, and I usually do it by feeling around, and find your ear flappy, and you're going to take the wig pin, and you're going to poke it through. Don't be afraid to poke through your wig. Going downwards. Poke it through the ear flappy part, but don't obviously stab yourself in the head yet. And then you're going to, with the ball part, so the end of the pin pushed up against your scalp, turn it the other way, and slide it up into your wig cap and the pin curl there. So it should be nice and secure, so if I like tug this hair around, it's not going anywhere. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to part the hair, find your ear flappy, take your pin, shove it downwards, turn it, push it upwards, and right now like the pin is kind of like grazing my scalp, so I know that it's getting into the pin curl, because if it doesn't get into the pin curl, it won't really stay well. And then I like to do the back next. So it's going to be the same concept, except one on each corner kind of the backs. The backs of wigs are a little bit square at the bottom, so you want to kind of pick each corner and anchor it. So we're going to do one here. Poke it downwards, turn it up, and get it in there nice and tight. And then the other side, downwards, turn it up. And then if you pull the wig up, like if you were for some reason to dance, or do somersaults, or whatever in your wig, you can yank the wig upwards and it will not come off your head. And that's awesome. And then the last thing, this is especially really nice with heavy wigs, and just so that the center of your wig doesn't ride back and show your hairline or wig cap at all, I like to put 2 little anchoring pins right here. You're going to again use the kind of cross pinning technique. Kind of similar, but not really to the bobby pins. They're not going to form an X, they're going to go towards each other so that they kind of interlock and don't let your wig shift around. So that's what the pin curls at the top of your head are for. So you're just kind of going to go like towards the top of your head. Pick a spot. If you have a skin top, I like to go just behind the skin top so that you don't have to stab through a skin top with a pin, which is pretty much impossible. So go behind that if you have one, because stabbing through skin top sucks. Don't do it. So poke through, and if you're just like getting like right in between the wefts, make sure you like catch a weft with like one side of your pin just so it's extra secure, just so you make sure you're actually grabbing onto something and not just putting a pin into nothing. And then, so what you're doing then is pushing it in towards the center. So then you do it right across from it so that your pins are interlocking. You put it down through the wig and then into the side. And then you have 2 pins here, 2 pins here, and 2 pins in the back. And those 6 pins should be enough to keep your wig on pretty much through hell and high water, unless you have a very large ponytail wig or just a very, very heavy updo, in which case I would recommend using a couple more large wig pins, usually somewhere around here, potentially around like the front, like around here, and just sticking them back in and grabbing more pin curls, because with heavier wigs, the more evenly you can distribute the weight across your scalp, the less likely you are going to be to get like really terrible headaches or have the wig slide back. So to demonstrate how secure this is, look at what I can do. Yep, wig's still fine. Can't see my wig cap. That's how I put wigs on, and now you just saw me shake my head around. So I'm gonna go. Yeah. Have fun putting wigs on.